Welcome to yet another episode of Bobo, Don and Mango's Void. We haven't been together in 2 months.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Better.
Yeah?
I escaped the collapsing hellscape that is New York.
Yeah.
And I'm back here.
Yeah.
In the promising, hopeful, I'm fucking around. But yeah.
Yes.
I'm happy to be back here, screaming, complaining. Yeah, how do you feel?
I'm glad you're back. I feel like, is it toxicity that like my body stops functioning whenever we're away from each other?
A bit. Kind of hot, but like a bit. Sure.
Yeah, it's just like my period doesn't show up. Really basic functional things.
Yeah.
Like my body just stops doing. So I'm glad to now be back on track.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're reunited, our wolf pack.
Yeah.
But what's been on your mind? We've been gone for so long.
So much.
What's been on your mind?
Something about being a lonely boy, which is what I am in New York. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm back to just being a lonely boy in my mama's house.
Yeah.
In my room,
Yeah.
It really made me fixate on like the existential crisis that both men and women seem to be going through in respects to the roles that they're supposed to play in society.
Let's talk about it.
To like what society expects of them and what roles they feel like they need to fulfill.
Yeah.
And like when you look at like the conversations that different people are having, you realize how just like dire the state
of gender
of both femininity and masculinity and everything in between are. I think people are like doing so unwell, and people talk about.
Do you think it's because of gender that people are doing like what role do you think gender?
Yeah.
And I have my own answers, but like what role do you think gender plays in the mental health epidemic that we're currently...
On this podcast a lot we talk about class privilege, we talk about race privilege, but we have relationship privilege. We have the privilege of navigating through this collapsing hellscape with each other.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
It's a privilege that like should be addressed. It's actually just as consequential as other privileges.
Oh, yeah.
And anytime I like talk to single people, I understand that like I have that privilege.
Yes.
And the real problem is an epidemic of loneliness that is perpetuated by fulfilling whatever needs we think our gender requires.
Ooh,
and like
talk that
by
shit.
trying to fulfill masculinity in an increasingly alienated world, men just get lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. By trying to fulfill femininity in an increasingly alienated world, women just get lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. And like for some reason, like doing what society tells us to do as far as fulfilling our gender roles just makes us lonelier and lonelier, bitter and more bitter.
Well, of course.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about like as two fucking straight cishet people, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I also think this applies to anyone because we're not talking about like people with penises. We're talking about like existential concepts of femininity and masculinity.
We're not talking about biological sex.
No.
We're talking about the construct of gender as it's been defined.
Yeah.
Under white supremacist patriarchal capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I think women, we have these conversations a lot.
Yeah.
But not as honestly as I think they ought to be.
I agree.
And I think men don't have these conversations at all. And it's funny you say this because the other day I called you. It was 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. You were still in New York. I called you and I was like, just had a fascinating conversation with my brother about the plight of black masculinity.
Yeah.
And like, that wasn't what he intended to have the conversation about, but like that's just where I took it, And then the week after, not even a week actually, a few days after that, I was talking with my brother's wife and her friend, who are both black, about the state of black womanhood. And I feel like I really because it became a therapy session. Anytime I talk about like gender, it somehow becomes a therapy. And I'm now actually working towards becoming a therapist. Side note. Because I'd like to decolonize therapy. I think like every black woman in every part of the diaspora experiences like a different genre of like gender collapse. I want to call it gender collapse because that is like gender is collapsing. What are your thoughts on the state of black masculinity? Why are black men not functioning, right? Why are you guys on the brink?
Put blackness on hold, and let's just start with masculinity. What is masculinity in the etymological definition that men and women can agree on in a world where we don't agree on anything?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's something I try to remember, right? Like, men and women are raised in opposition to each other.
Yes.
Which means that we're each other's ops.
Yes.
And when someone is your op, you feel like it's by any means necessary.
Yes.
And the truth gets destroyed when two people are at war.
Yeah.
In any war, the first casualty is the truth. Men and women are at war, so therefore there's this truth that we're not addressing.
What is that truth?
Well, whenever both sides tend to agree, I get interested because I say that's probably the truth. And when you ask men and women what a man should be, the only things that they seem to agree on is someone who provides for their family, right? Someone who like defends their family, someone who takes care, someone who facilitates, someone who provides structure. Pretty much anything but those very core base things we disagree on.
Yes.
So I'm focused on what we agree on. You ask black women on what black men should be, they say that. You ask black men on what black men should be, they say that.
Yeah.
But if masculinity means providing for your family, providing safety, providing all those things, isn't black masculinity an oxymoron when being black is inherently being systemically prevented from providing for your family, providing safety for your family, providing. So when you ask me like what black masculinity is, it's inherently a contradiction.
Yeah.
Because blackness as it is set up in society and masculinity as it is set up in society are at odds. You know, it's being...
Black men have been priced out of masculinity. Of like experiencing it
and the not even the luxurious sides, I mean the core things. Back to that point about like what is it that we agree on? What is it that men and women agree on?
Yeah.
We're priced out of that.
Yes.
We're systemically pushed out of that. Just the baseline, I take care of my family, I bring home food, and I provide them safety. If I'm a dad making 17K a year in watts, I can't provide my family any of those things.
Yes.
I can't provide them enough food, I can't provide them safety, I can't. So, and then you look at obviously like Reagan and shit kicking black dads out of the home, all this type of shit. We've been systemically kept out of masculinity.
The same, that's why I think like the plight of black men in America and the plight of black men in South Africa is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because it's led to the same place where during apartheid, white people took black men from our homes and put them in the mines. Yeah. So you now are taken out of like where you ancestrally belong. Yeah. And now you're fucking millions, okay, not millions, but now you're a whole 5 cities away. Yeah. In this random place that you've never been to. Yeah. None of your people are here. Yeah. And your entire family, your wife, your kids, your sisters, your mother, everyone is literally hundreds of miles away and inaccessible to you for months at a time. Like for months at a time, you have been forcibly told that not only can you not see your family, you cannot do the thing that you're existentially here to do, the thing that like scratches the existential itch, you are not allowed to do that. Yeah. And then we wonder why there's so much rape, there's so much and like that trauma, because I believe in epigenetics, that trauma is then passed on to your son and his son and his son. And we now just have like generations of traumatized men that resent the woman in their lives because they represent their own failure, their own like inability to do the thing that they were existentially brought here to do, to do the thing that like scratches at their fundamental, because like people think it's about money, like a lot of men and women, this isn't even gendered, but like a lot of people pursue money because that is what capitalism tells us is like the symbolic existential pursuit. Like the highest existential purpose and pursuit in your life is to accumulate money. Yeah. But like, it's just, but the reason money doesn't slap, it's because it's not that. Like it never is that. It's actually just like loving and caring and protecting your niggas, like your community. And like black men have, and black women, but in an entirely different way, have just been disallowed from like the most fundamental psychological need
Yeah.
that any mammal
Yeah.
like not even monkeys
Yeah.
have been priced out of like their ability to defend their own,
Yeah.
to protect their own, to
Right.
nurture and to care for their own.
Right.
But like black people have.
Right.
And we just don't talk about like what does
Well,
that mean?
yeah.
You know? And like people are always like, we need stricter immigration law. And it's like, no, actually,
Yeah.
I posted this thing on my story the other day because I posted this very controversial story. People literally were like cussing me out.
Yeah.
I posted this article that basically debunked the whole theory about like chemical imbalance being the main cause of depression.
Like origin of
the origin of depression.
Yeah.
And like a whole bunch of people came for me, even though it's clear, like the science, guys, the science is there. Here's
Yeah.
the data.
Yeah.
And like, it's so interesting to me, like how people are so like attached.
Yeah.
I'll have to like,
I get what you're trying to say.
yeah,
It's-
I feel like I've lost my train of like
Yeah, yeah.
words
Yeah.
that I'll get back to.
It's the same thing where it's like, you know, men keep getting diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and it's like, sure, but let's talk about what's really happening, which is the
Yeah.
cult of fatherlessness.
Yes.
And it
yes.
sounds like a conservative take, but I promise you it's not, because I hate all of the conservative men that fulfill this fatherless vacuum.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, this like alpha male construct.
Yeah.
And I got really invested in like what is behind this surge of like alpha male obsession.
Yeah.
Because I was mentally, when we're apart, I'm back to being just a boy in his room.
Yeah,
So I
yes.
then become susceptible, and I just become interested in like what is it that is provoking men to like worship this idea of being an alpha and
Yeah.
being dominant and
Yeah.
having money and trying like, and it also like inherently comes with reinforcing like the most ancient misogyny of just like women are property and you have
Yeah.
to be an alpha male to get the
Yeah.
best property. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this? And it reminds me of this point that Bell Hooks made in The Will to Change, which is like when men don't have an
Okay,
actual...
reading bell hooks.
I got an audiobook, Audible, you get the free
Okay.
subscription. I mean, it is what
Just
it is.
admit you
I mean, it is
stand
what
bell
it is.
hooks.
No, she's fucking genius.
Yeah.
She made this point that like when men don't have an actual father figure,
Yeah.
which is not only most black men, but at this point, just most men generally.
Yeah.
Either you have a dad and he's useless,
Yeah.
or he
Or
went
you
out to
just
get
don't have
cigarettes
one at
18
all.
years ago,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you don't have an actual father figure in the home to define like, oh, this is what masculinity is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what being a man and handling your responsibilities mean. You don't have that.
Yeah.
You go towards the hegemonic cultural definition of what a man should be, which in a hyper-capitalistic collapsing hellscape is Joe Rogan.
Yes,
Or like
yes.
is Jordan Peterson.
Yes,
Or is Andrew
yeah.
Tate. Or is all
Yeah,
these things.
it's the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you see the rise of these alpha male characters, these like, you know, these brands that like feed off of men's need for fathers.
Yeah.
Feed off of men's need to even be able to define what masculinity means to them. It's because they're going to culture for something that they should be getting in the home.
Yes. Yes.
Which kind of like, I mean,
Well, there is no home in America because
Right.
there is no fam. Notice
Right.
there's no Jordan Peterson in South Africa.
Right, they
like
don't
there are
need
no
it.
like there's no
Right.
like Joe Rogan
Right, they don't need
father
it.
figure. And that's not to say there isn't like a crisis of masculinity in South
just
Africa.
different,
It's
yeah.
just a different one.
Yeah.
But it's so clear to me that the crisis of masculinity in America comes from fatherlessness, like
Yeah.
existential,
Yeah.
like it not even just fatherlessness, but like motherlessness, fatherlessness, like
Well-
because we always blame like there's no fathers in the home, but like also like the mother.
Yeah.
Who was Jordan Peterson's mom?
right now, isn't that the question?
No, but like who?
Behind
like,
every trash man
Yes.
is a trash woman as
Like-
well. It works both ways.
yeah, behind every great man is a great woman, is an
Right.
even better woman.
Right.
Behind every trash man is
But
a
there's-
trash. Like
I think that there's two forces at play here as
Yeah.
far as why women keep asking this question, like, why are men? Like, you know,
Yes.
there's like a
Yes.
genuine interest, like, how did we get to this point?
yeah,
And I think it's the
Please
cult
explain.
of fatherlessness, but
Yeah.
then there's also, and this is going to be very controversial,
Yeah.
I think that, whatever, women aren't being honest about what they dislike in men because by saying the truth, they appear shallow. Can I
interesting.
explain? Like,
explain. I'm intrigued.
second to third wave white feminism has
Yes.
convinced all women
Yeah.
that their existential problem with men is their garish and brutishness and grossness and lack of tact and lack of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And that they're dirty and they're filthy and they're inconsiderate.
Yeah. And that's part of it.
All probably true. It's a big
Yes.
part of it.
Yeah.
I would argue
Yes.
a massively bigger part of the existential problem that
Yeah.
women have with men in 2022 is their uselessness.
Yes.
But you sound crazy saying that. As a woman in
Interesting.
2022, you look weak being like, I hate my boyfriend because he's really lazy and he doesn't make enough money and he doesn't take care of me and our family. You sound like a basic bitch saying that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to say that. Women feel cringe saying that. So what you end up
Interesting.
saying is like, oh, toxic masculinity. Oh, all true.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like the amount
The
of
core
prioritization
issue. Yeah.
that issues with men get talked about by women.
Yeah.
I think because women feel more comfortable and like the way they appear talking about toxic masculinity than they do talking about an actual bigger existential problem,
Yeah.
which is why are all men in 2022 useless?
Yeah.
Why do you not know how to facilitate anything
Yes.
that would improve my life?
Yeah.
You seem more like a basic bitch.
Interesting.
So like it almost seems as if like second to third wave like white feminism has denied women the ability to articulate a genuine complaint
Interesting.
because it looks cringe.
Yeah.
And because you look like a basic bitch. And
Yeah.
because you look like, oh, I'm a damsel in distress and I just need
But
a man.
also,
But that's a valid complaint,
because
right?
of the pressures for women in 2022 to be the patriarchal figurehead. I
Right.
think like feminism has gone. I think like you say all the time, history is dialectical.
Yeah.
So or dialectic, however you say.
Also,
it.
like Hegel said it. I,
Yeah.
I just
Is that-
I
yeah?
came up with dialectical
No,
material.
you did. No,
Yeah.
claim it. These
Yeah.
white men stay stealing from us. You
Yeah.
founded dialectical materialism.
I
okay.
agree.
So Donovan's theory of dialectical materialism states that history just works in circular ways.
Yeah.
And it does. And the same can be said for feminism. Feminism came from this point where, like, we're tired of being oppressed by men. And that it's valid. We're tired of being oppressed by men. It's not every day barefoot in the kitchen. Me too. I also want to be a white supremacist, patriarchal capitalist. I also want to be a megalomaniac. I also want to be Putin.
Yeah.
And so enters into the equation Hillary
It's
Clinton.
really funny. If like a woman invaded the Ukraine,
Yeah, yes, sis.
Take the Donbass, sis.
Yes. No, but that's where feminism led to.
NATO
And then
played you, sis.
Yeah, NATO. You need to kill them, sis. Everyday genocide, sis.
That is what Twitter was.
That
doing.
is, yeah, that is literally where feminism took us. And then we realized the clownery, which is that actually the pressures of patriarchy not only oppress men, they also oppress us when we're doing them.
Yeah.
So like this, it's not fun to be a megalomaniac. Like it's not fun. So now feminism has taken us to this point of like, I want to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen.
That's the dialectical response.
And so like now
Because
we're back to 1950s.
women have clocked that that's not fun.
Yes.
The patriarchy as it was sold to women during like the third wave feminism era was that like you'll just get to be in control.
Yes.
But you didn't realize the thing that you're in control of is a ship that is full of
Sinking.
shit that is
Yes,
sinking.
yes.
So do you want control of this thing?
Yes, of this society, that's what you want to be in control of.
We were
This society.
talking about this yesterday, and we were talking about like male loneliness.
Mm.
And I was describing to you like a very specific feeling
Yeah.
that only like dads experience, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you're on a really long road trip
Yeah.
and you're tired and you're behind the wheel and you look to the right and your wife is asleep
Yeah.
and you look behind you and the kids are asleep. And you're really tired
Yeah.
and you want to rest, but you realize that no one here is going to wake up
Yeah,
and finish
and
this shit.
drive this
and
car.
that's what leading the patriarchy is.
Yes.
It's a lot of great things as well, right? It's getting to abuse and exploit, and it's
Yeah,
all of those
it's
things that
power,
women also
yeah.
think it is, but it's also that. It's also like being in the car
Exhausting.
and being exhausted and just knowing that no one is going to relieve me of this position.
Yes.
So women got into that driver's seat and
Yes.
realized like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I want to take a nap.
Yes.
I don't want to finish this 16-hour road trip to Arizona.
Yeah.
Right.
But also,
and who would, by the way? And like
yes.
a better world would be a world where men and women communicate enough to say like, hey, can I get this 8 hours?
Yeah,
and then you get this 8 hours,
yes.
and then like But because we're raised in opposition to each other,
yeah, we are each other's
that bridge of communication never actually happens.
Yes.
So I'm just interested in what the truth is. I'm interested in like what the actual truth is.
Yeah.
Do we need each other? If so, what do we need each other for?
Yeah.
Like, and it's really hard to find the truth in a world where both sides were raised in opposition to each other. Because
because
war,
to tell the truth is to admit defeat.
Yeah,
it's
and
to be vulnerable.
In war, the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
So you need to lie because lying, like from women's perspective, like. Women are under attack, which they are.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, the world is a terrifying place for women.
Yes.
So why wouldn't I lie to
Yeah.
protect me and my own?
Yes.
Why wouldn't women lie in order
I
to
think-
like facilitate their own safety?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't men lie to protect their own power?
Yeah.
We're all just lying to each other
Constantly. Well, I think the fundamental lie of gender is that it's a binary.
Sure.
And like, I believe, so let me give some context, because this is going to be controversial. These past 2 months have been going through like crazy health problems, and they've all been like hormonal. And I've had these health problems since I was 12, but because like the medical industry doesn't give a fuck about women, they just put me on birth control, which actually made everything worse, and now here I am. More than 10 years of like trying to figure out like what is wrong with me? Like what is the problem? Why am I in pain all the time? You know, like what's going on with my body? Been trying to figure this shit out since I was 12. Only today at my big age did I finally get an answer, and it's all like hormone related. And so because I know, or because I've just lost all faith in and this is a whole other episode. I've lost all faith in the medical industry.
This is a whole other episode.
Yeah, because they've done nothing but like make me worse. I now just go out and I do my own research and I try and learn about my own body, and so I've been learning a lot about hormones. And everything I've learned about hormones, and to be fair, I took a neuroscience class when I was in college. I took a few, so I had already had like just a basic understanding of hormones and like neurochemistry. And just like I took this like psychoneuroimmunology class, and like if anyone is in college and you can take a class about like the relationship between your brain and your gut and your mental health, like truly do it. It will change your life. But learning about hormones has fully like debunked everything about gender, like everything that we know about gender, like the first, and which is like the first thing is the idea that it's a binary, the idea that you are either a woman or a man. Actually, like once you learn about hormones, actually doesn't make sense. It's so I am someone who has way too much estrogen. And that causes like a host of problems. And it affects my mental health. It affects literally the way my body looks. It affects the sound of my voice. It affects like my ability to, like my perspective in life. Like it literally just affects everything. And when you understand that like no one person has the same balance of hormones, but also that like the balance of any woman's hormones is so delicate and can be thrown off by anything. Like literally, you have low blood sugar, fucking like hormones are thrown. You had a bad day at work today, hormones are thrown. You ate too many oily foods, hormones are thrown. You had too many pesticides in your vegetable. You've been eating too, like any little thing. And like we live in a world that is disgusting on every level. Like it makes us sick on the air.
I mean, hormonally. I mean, like it's insane.
Yeah, it's
like,
just impossible to be a woman in this world.
Well, the things that we use to
oxygen.
scale our society, which is like we needed bigger animals so we could feed more people, inherently threw off the balance of our own neurochemistry because like we pumped them full of hormones, which then like, upset our own hormonal balance.
Yeah, like now that I've just been like compartmentalizing how every little thing affects me.
Yeah.
And you think about the pesticides in our food,
Yeah.
the pollution in the air,
Yeah.
the amount of stress, the fact that we don't move our bodies enough. We just go from car to cubicle to car to bed to couch. Like all of those things put together. There's no way that anyone could have a healthy balance of hormones that were already to begin with so
delicate.
Yeah. And I'd read this study that this university did about PCOS, and it's actually not inherently an illness. Centuries ago, women with PCOS had a biological advantage in their communities because they were bigger, which meant they would survive more. Just like different things, you know, meant that they were more... But in this world, having PCOS means it's inherently a disease because the way that set of hormones interact with this specific world means your mental health is going to be dismal. Your weight is going to fluctuate like crazy. Your skin is going to be breaking out like crazy. You're going to have crazy insulin resistance. Like, and it's not because of your hormones how they are. It's because of the context in which your hormones are forcibly situated. And like, we don't think about these things when we just prescribe. I honestly think like every doctor that just prescribes women
straight
with
to the gulag.
Birth control, no, you should be sued for malpractice. Like, I can't believe how much doctors have destroyed my health.
I can't wait for this to be like your cultural revolution.
This is
this is your Mao
straight
Stalinist
to the gulags.
Campaign.
Yes.
In the way like Hitler blamed Jews and Bolsheviks, you're gonna blame like
the amount of
gynecologists.
doctors that I'm coming for your throat because of malpractice.
No, it's true.
Like,
it's one of the bigger like stories of our lifetime.
Yeah. When you really think about like how hormones really work and how delicate they are and how varied they are. There is no, what is it to be? Like, some women have so much testosterone. Does that make them less of a woman?
Right.
But like some men have so much estrogen. Does that make them less of a man?
I was showing you this cringe-ass right-wing documentary called What is a Woman? Do you remember that thing I showed you? It's like this crazy right-wing lunatic trying to like get a gotcha on like what... Because his question is like, what is a woman? And then people reply, people who identify as a woman, and then he gets to be like the Giga Chad. That's like, what are they identifying as? And then it's like a gotcha. And I was talking to my friend who's trans about this, and they had a really good point that like changed the way I view gender. And assigning it as just this arbitrary, absurd thing. Like, we should think about gender. And the example they used was like, if you asked me for a bottle of water, right? And I went to a pond and scooped up some water and then gave you that bottle of water, you'd be like, this isn't water. Right? But it is water. It's just you wanted water in this very specific context. I specifically wanted Poland spring water that didn't have any content. So you should have been more specific. And our fixation on like proving who isn't a woman and who isn't a man is so pathetic and clearly bigoted because we don't do it with water. You can make that argument about anything. There's so many societal constructs that are arbitrary. The clear truth is that the definition of something is informed by its context and its utility. So the idea that like trans women aren't women, okay, then river water in a Poland spring bottle isn't water. Because you have this specific criteria that you're not even being detailed enough to express. And then you're getting mad when people don't fit that specific criteria. It's like the J.K. Rowling bullshit. She's like, people with ovaries. It's like, clearly the construct of being a man and a woman is stupid and arbitrary. But if we're going to use it, it's informed by the use. It's informed by context. So if a trans woman is fulfilling so many other cultural confines of being a woman, except for this one thing, that's like saying a bottle of water isn't water because 1% of it is gravel or something. It's like, since when are we being this obtuse? And why do we only have this obtuse energy for gender? It speaks to something, we say something a lot where it's like, it's not that people are wrong, we judge people by what they focus on. So like, people who are like, I'm not homophobic, I'm not transphobic, I'm just interested in like, what is being a woman? Why did you do that with being a woman? Why didn't you do that with bottled water? Why didn't you do that with wood? There's so many things
What's
Well,
wrong,
she's
my little
crying.
mango? You wanna go down? Or do you have some shit to say about gender? Talk your shit. Talk to the camera. Okay.
But,
you put her down. Yeah.
But I want to get back to like our crisis. Like,
Yes.
like what is informing the crisis?
Yeah.
What is there to be
Well,
done
the
about
first
the
is
crisis?
that I genuinely think the first thing that's informing the crisis is the insistence on the binary.
Right.
The insistence that like you are either a woman
Yeah.
or a man.
Yeah.
Create that already just is because it's
Yeah.
a lie.
Yeah.
And like it also creates. It means that we are all constant. Well, no. If you're gonna dig while if you're gonna dig while we're doing a podcast.
You want to pass it?
Come, Mango. Come, my little Mango. Come, little baby.
Come here, baby.
Come, go to your dad. Now you're dirty.
She just bathed her.
I know.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, you can
Okay.
continue.
My beef with like the gender binary is that it makes it impossible to exist. Honestly.
Honestly.
No, like it
It's
just
so
makes
sick.
existence impossible.
Can we talk about like
It makes like mental sanity impossible.
Right.
Like it like anyone who identifies as a gender you cannot possibly
Yeah.
be mentally well.
Yeah.
By identifying, and I know that sounds like an absurd take, but it is.
Let's like look around.
No, like anyone who identifies as like a gender,
Yeah.
you have locked yourself into a prison.
Yeah.
You've thrown the key into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then you've told yourself thrive. Like
Yeah.
you like
Yeah.
that's what being like identifying as
Yeah.
a gender is.
Yeah.
And so it makes existing
Yeah.
honestly and truthfully and freely impossible.
Can I say something a bit controversial?
Yeah.
Because like I'm just trying to get to a point in life where I only think in systems, right? I'm
Yeah.
done blaming specific in groups or out groups. I just want to understand why things happen. And I hate the patriarchy. I'm
Yeah.
one of the men that are of the belief that like we have to solve this for our own good.
Yeah.
I was helping my dad with something the other day. Mind you, my dad's like 70.
Yeah.
And like he clearly needed help lifting this thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
Because like
He has to be a man.
and I watch like patriarchal concepts, especially like in older men, I watch it like beat their ass.
Yes.
Where it's like you're
Yeah.
a 70-year-old human
Yeah.
that won't accept help from another human because you
Yes.
think that's what being a man is.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
you're gonna blow out your back.
Yes.
And then you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've watched the patriarchy beat all of the men in my life's ass to a pulp,
Yeah.
trying to fulfill this abstract, nebulous idea of what a man should be.
Yeah.
And the thing that I see a lot of like specifically young men falling into is just this idea that women keep telling us to be more vulnerable and be more emotionally intelligent. They tell you
Yeah.
to read The Will to Change. And
Yeah.
then you go and you read The Will to Change and
Yeah.
you're like, holy shit, this is so liberating. I want to start implementing some of this shit in my life.
Yeah.
And then you try to implement it
Yeah.
and women will quickly remind you, if you don't shut the fuck up and fix the tire.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you about your day. Fix the tire.
Well,
And-
but that is also the woman being imprisoned by
Of
her
course,
own
of course.
prison
Yeah,
of
yeah.
femininity.
But I believe in truth and reconciliation, which is it's what happened after apartheid here, where it's like the only way
Yeah.
to understand a system
Yeah.
is to allow even the perpetrators of the system
Yeah.
to be fully honest, because even the perpetrators of a
Are
system
suffering.
are victims of that system.
I agree.
That's what thinking in systems mean. You can't bring down a system until you think in the system.
Yeah.
Because to arbitrarily blame, it's just all men. All men are evil, and
Yeah.
all men could wake up tomorrow and just decide to stop doing the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Well, even if this oppressive system was informed by male dominance,
Yeah.
it's now evolved to the point that even women perpetuate the patriarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Yeah.
women want to be girl bosses, or even women judge men because they're weak and
Yeah, and we
certain.
judge each other.
And I've been
yeah.
watching us both, men and women, just regress
Yes.
by like the things that
Yeah.
we say. Like a
Yeah.
big argument on Twitter was this woman being like, when you meet your man's friend group and he's not the leader, And it's men being like, nigga, are we the Avengers? Like,
yeah,
what is this?
yes.
And it's like, okay, that's an example
Yeah.
of how many women perpetuate the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Or it's like broke niggas ain't shit, like all of that. And like you understand why it happens.
Yeah.
But then if you understand why it happens and that it is initially men's fault, you'd have to realize it would require collective action to end it.
Well, yeah, two people in a prison can't unlock the, like, we're both in a prison cell, you know?
But when it comes to men just becoming out of control incels, what's really happening is they're clocking the patriarchy and the prison of masculinity.
Yeah.
And then they want to do something else. And then anytime either they or any man they know attempts to unlock any of that repressed femininity, they get clowned for it. And they see, and like you're already in a vulnerable state because you're trying something for the first time.
Yes.
And then you're just watching someone shit in your face.
So, okay, can I use...
And then we just become incels.
Yeah,
then
well,
that's how you go from the red pill to the black pill.
But see, I also don't like that as an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
And it's not. And because, okay, so I am a retiring people pleaser.
Yeah.
I have been on this, and I know it's going to be a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
Of like trying not to be a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And every now and then, honestly, more often than not, I'll set a boundary with someone.
Yeah.
And they will lose their minds. Like, and like the really basic boundary.
Yeah.
Like I remember the other day, I was just like, hey, I have to be on my phone a lot because of my job.
Yeah.
So I don't like being on my phone. Like it's not fun for me. Like texting all day, it's not fun because I have to just be on this thing every day. So I consider it a chore.
Yeah.
So like after a certain time of night, of day, after 7 p.m., I'm putting my phone down.
Yeah.
I'm putting it in my room. I'm going to go cook a meal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch Love. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna do something that doesn't involve my phone.
Yeah.
And if you text me at that time, I will probably respond the next day or the day. They were so offended that I had set this boundary.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was hard for me. Like for me, it was, as someone who is just not used to setting boundaries, it was really hard for me to be like, because I feel vulnerable now, to be like, I'm struggling with something. That's the first thing that's hard, is admitting that I struggle with this thing.
Yeah.
I'm admitting that I have anxiety. I'm admitting that there's something that is very basic for most people that I'm incapable of doing because I have this anxiety. And I'm asking for like space. So that I can be mentally healthy. And the response is, the response is to make this about you. Like, you know, like that is, people are the absolute, like humans are scum.
So we're describing a similar problem here.
So it's like, in that scenario, am I supposed to just be like, well, fuck it, now I'm an incel. Fuck everyone, I'm shooting up a school.
Of course not.
Because 5 people didn't respect my boundaries that I tried to set for my own mental well-being as a chronically suicidal person. Now I'm gonna do a suicide bombing at JFK. Is that reasonable?
Of course not.
Is
That's
that
not what
a
I'm arguing
reasonable response?
But my point is that in women's correct diagnosis of what is wrong with men, there is an assumption that there is a lane in society for them to be anything else. That's what I'm saying. So my point is that like the fact that men haven't read Bell Hooks' bibliography is a problem. But once you read The Will to Change and you go back into the dating pool and it's 10 times more city girls than it is Bell Hooks.
Yeah, but you have you have to be willing to suffer through city girls to find a reasonable human who doesn't believe in hypergamy. In the same way that like I had resigned to being single for the rest of my life. Because it was like, where am I gonna find someone who is anti-capitalist, who's fuck the patriarchy, who just actually believes in community and like kindness? Like, where am I gonna find that person? Not even like a man. Like, I'll date a woman. Like, I'm chill. I'll date. Like, I had resigned to singleness because I don't meet people who have my values, who have my morals, who have my principles, who believe in like the things that I believe. I meet them maybe once every 10 years. does that now mean...
You don't, no, this was never an excuse.
Yeah. No, and I don't view it as that either.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is another problem where it's like any time either of the genders expresses something in which like the other side is accountable for their own trashness, it seems like an excuse for that when it's really like, I think the only way to get through this is to view it as a collective problem.
Yes.
Because at this point in the game, we're both perpetuating it.
Yeah.
It's an argument we have about race all the time, where it's like, as much as I want to be like black white people, at this point in the game, in big 2022, colonization is a system that we are all perpetuating.
Yes.
In big 2022, patriarchy is a system that we are all doing. Anytime a woman tweets, oh, if he ain't the leader of the group, that's unattractive to me.
Yeah.
You might as well be Mitch McConnell.
Yes.
You might as well be a Republican senator.
I've said like hypergamy destroyed everything good in society. Like I actually blame hypergamy for everything.
I think this is not an excuse, but what I'm trying to say, if from growing up your mom told you not to cry because be a big boy, men don't cry, and then that entire thought is facilitated through every part of your development. And then you finally, in the past 5 years, get like a little liberation to say, I don't know, I'm gonna paint my nails and read The Will to Change. I'm gonna try and get out of this prison. And the second you take a step out of the prison, the city girls push you right back in. They come and they push you.
I think what I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean that you go become an incel and listen to Jordan Peterson videos. My point is that then we have to address this is a bit more complicated. Then men can wake up tomorrow and change this whole thing.
I agree. And I think what I'm saying, because I want to make sure this is like articulated properly. What I'm not saying that that's an excuse. What I'm saying is that like, and this is, I guess this has always been my philosophy, and it's really unpopular, but I really believe this. Self-improvement and suffering are synonymous.
I agree.
If you embark on any type of self-improvement, and this is why I always pose the question, what is the point of bettering yourself if it only further isolates you from the people around you? Because before you decide you want to improve yourself, you have to, that's the question you have to answer. Everyone always says you have to have your why. You want to be vegan, you have to have your why. You want to be a healthier person, you have to have your why. You want to be more intelligent and more emotionally intelligent. No, you don't need your fucking why. Your why isn't going to get you through this thing. You have to ask yourself and have an honest answer to the question, what is the point of doing this? Because it's only going to further isolate me from everyone. And like, if you don't have an answer for like, what is the point? What is the point of me? Like just recently, I've quit alcohol entirely because I had 2 glasses of wine the other day. And for 2 days, I was throwing up. Like, you know, so like clearly my body is just like, we don't do that anymore. Like now that my ovaries have cysts, they're just not doing that anymore. And every time I go out with people, I have to tell them, I don't drink. And the responses are insane. Oh, so you think you're better than me? Oh, so it's just like, people hate when you try and better yourself in any way. If you decide to go back to, people are gonna hate it. You're gonna lose friends. You're going to, like anytime you try to make an improvement in your life, you're gonna lose friends. People are gonna hate on you. People are gonna hate you. You're gonna have, you'll be lucky to have one person that supports. Like you're my one person who supports me when I better myself, like you and my mom. But there's actually no one else, like if I'm being honest. And it's like, the same goes for gender abolition. It's most people don't want to let go of their prisons. People love their slavery. Like niggas hate free, by niggas I mean everyone. People, the average human hates freedom. They love their bondage. They love the, you just need to know this about people. So anytime you are leaving Plato's cave, you're gonna have to answer to the 7 billion people inside the cave who now hate you. They resent you. You represent all of their failures in life. You now are like the symbol of everything they cannot be, everything they cannot do. I remember telling someone the other day, like, oh, sorry, I can't eat that cake. Like, while I'm on these meds, like I'm on this cleanse right now, so I'm really cutting out processed sugar because like my body's really hypersensitive right now. The looks, it's just like, but you have to take that in stride. You have to accept that.
You're saying something very true, which is people don't understand
improvement is suffering. So anytime you decide I'm going to improve a certain facet of my life, except it's gonna bring more suffering in your life. So you have to decide, is the suffering that this is gonna bring worth the benefits? You have to do that cost-benefit analysis and then make your decision.
People don't understand that self-improvement or becoming less toxic means taking on more burdens.
Yes,
they just don't
that's what I mean.
Like with men, right? They'll always be like, well, if you're not going to be a traditional woman, why am I going to be a traditional man? You know, it's just like this thing of like, if I'm going to pay the bills, why should I also respect you? Like, really? And it's like, well, now you have to do both of those things. That's what being a better man would entail. You'd have to pay for things and also then respect that person as a human. That's what being a better person
That's called improving.
would
it's
entail.
Hard.
It would be doing more things. But the endless age of, it's that tweet I was telling you about, fucking that black people haven't had a serious conversation since the civil rights. Because it always goes back to that, like, why should I have to do more things? Well, that's what being a better person is.
Yes, it means more responsibility.
Right, it means, and something I find is that the only way to opt out of gender or the prison of masculinity or the prison of femininity is to actually become your own person and to become confident in being your own person. Like something...
To be like unmovable through the winds of everyone else's bullshit. That's what I mean. Like, I think like, I feel like there's not much of an understanding of the phrase life is suffering. And maybe I don't know what Buddha meant, but like when I say life is suffering, I just mean like the better you become in life,
the harder it gets.
The harder it gets.
For sure.
At the same time, the worse you become in life, the harder it gets. No, but literally, it's just a different type of suffering. Becoming internally better means you're going to suffer externally even more. Becoming externally more trash means you'll feel like that, you know, like you'll have more people support, but you'll be suffering internally even more. So it's like you have to choose. Life is not about eradicating suffering. It's choosing what genre of suffering do I want today. Do I want for the rest of my life?
And you have to find your own way to deal with it. And then I'm sure this will come off incredibly toxic, but it works in a way that a lot of other incredibly toxic things work. I always say this with like the left versus the right, where it's like, if you become less PC or like less woke, like more ignorant, let's say you're like into like edgier humor and shit, you'll do a better job at converting people from being right-wing lunatics because you're not this caricature of what they think the left is, which is like these snowflakey, like if you can like be a little bit mean and like you'll actually convert more people. You'll convert more incels that want to bring back the Holy Roman Empire to people that think that capitalism is a problem. If you like speak like a ignorant gamer, like speak like an ignorant nigga, like
speak at people's level.
So when it comes to men in my life that are still super misogynistic and like fake alpha, something I try to do is to like show them like how un-alpha being alpha is. So when I see a nigga who's like, I don't let my girl have like male friends because like I don't fuck with that shit, I'll be like, kind of bitch made, right? Like, are you that insecure? That your girl can't like, so you have to like out-alpha them. You have to like play a mind game with them. It's like, I let my girl do whatever the fuck she wants. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to like, so sometimes you like, as an actual cure, a temporary cure for like the ailments of both genders, like you have to somehow like give people some candy with the medicine. It's the only thing I've seen work with like the men in my life that believe like really problematic shit. You have to just show them like how weak that is. How weak, and like
how stupid.
How un-alpha being an alpha is. Like this idea of being like an alpha male as being this controlling, whiny, insecure, little dork. Like,
because
just this,
Donald
like,
Trump told you
yeah,
so?
this guy who's, like, controlling where your girlfriend is allowed to go. How did we come to a point where, like, that's alpha?
Where that's good.
Like, that's what being, like, a big, strong... Isn't, like, being a
Yeah.
big, strong man, like, not being phased?
Yeah.
Whether your girlfriend has male friends?
Yeah, because
or,
you're
like, whether-
confident.
Right.
Yeah,
So you have to, like, in a toxic way that plays towards a lot of masculine
No, I
traits,
completely get it.
reframe
Yeah.
what masculinity means in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
even if you're feeding them with the toxic shit, they'll eventually reach a place where they're like, no, I am being a little bitch.
Yeah.
By, like, being
Yeah.
mad
Yeah.
that my girlfriend is going out with her friends.
Yes.
That is, like, an insecure,
Stupid shit.
dweebish thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to reprogram people in that way. But regardless, just back to my point, it comes from, like, being an individual. I'm at a point in my life where I don't care what men do.
Yeah.
I care what Donovan does.
Yes.
I care what I
That's
believe.
also where I'm at.
Because I'm a gender abolitionist. I don't believe in any of this shit. I think
Yeah.
it's arbitrary. I think
Yeah.
it's like water. Anytime someone is telling me that, like, that's not what a man should be,
Yeah.
I'm now thinking of, I'm handing you a bottle of river water,
Yeah.
and you're telling me that it's not water because it's
Yeah.
not Poland Spring. It's
Yes.
arbitrary,
Yeah.
and it's stupid,
Yes.
and we should do something else. And the only
What
way to
do
do
you-
something else is to develop your own personality.
On that note, though, what are some things that you do as Donovan the individual that makes men resent you?
It really is like, men find masculinity through capital, through the system.
Yeah.
Right? They think
Yeah.
that having money is being a big, strong man with a
Yeah.
big swinging dick. Something I do, which is why I basically lost a lot of my male friends, is
Yeah.
I think even if you have money, depending on how you made your money, you can still be a little bitch too. Like,
Yes,
you can, like,
yeah.
you're a little tool.
Yeah.
Like, you have all of this big alpha masculine shit because you have 7 figures in your bank account. That means nothing to you.
Yeah.
Because you have another man in a suit that
Yes.
tells you what to do every day.
Yeah.
That's
He
some-
controls your time. He
Yeah.
controls when and where and what you eat.
Yeah.
He controls when you get to see your family.
Yeah.
Like, how...
And that's an element of toxic masculinity that I'm not ready to give up yet, because I view it as, like, profoundly anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
Just this idea of, like, this manly urge to not have a boss. That's one of the tenets of masculinity that I'm hanging on to.
Yeah,
Because it's also
yeah.
something that, like, women express a lot, where it's like they get unattracted to their partners when they're around their partners and their partner's boss. Because they're like, oh shit, like, I thought you come home and you act like this king, but then you go to
Yeah.
work and you act like a bitch.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like
it changes your perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I as someone dealing with my own toxic masculinity and also just trying to be my own person.
Yeah.
That's something that, like, I still identify with. Like, but I justify it through, like, anti-capitalism.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a profound, like, you have no control over your life as a man if you're, like, in America. You get what I mean? Like, how are you an alpha male in
Yeah.
America?
Yeah.
When the state can take away your bank account and
At
put
any
you in
point.
jail for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you an alpha male in a fascist country? How are you I'm a man?
You have no control
You
over
have no
any
control
aspect
over
of
your
your
life. You have no ability to take care of your family.
I don't get what
You know?
any American means when they talk about freedom.
Nothing.
Americans are constantly talking about freedom, but like where?
Why do you have freedom
How? So
to
you
get a
have the
knee
free-
operation?
Yes.
Why don't you figure that out?
You have the freedom to be poor? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to live in this commie block
Right, you have
in
the,
Manhattan.
You have the freedom to
where
buy
you
a
live
gun
with-
and live in filth.
Yes.
That's your free. How about you have the freedom? What if your kid gets a cough?
Yeah.
Why don't you have the freedom to deal with that?
Like-
But this alpha male shit, it's the idea I was telling you about the other day, like cultural hegemony. And it's this idea that, like, elites control the world, not even through owning the means of production anymore, but
Yeah.
by owning what it means to be normal.
Yes.
And therefore, in the case of gender, owning what it means to be a woman.
Yes.
Owning what it means to be a man.
Yes.
So the diamond industry is always going to have a grip on women, so long as
Yes.
they think the size of the diamond
Yeah.
and the amount of months that my man's salary went towards paying for it
Yeah.
defines my access to femininity.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, diamonds being a sign of betrothal was literally an ad campaign created by De Beers in the 30s to sell more diamonds.
Yeah.
As well as the birthstone industry created to sell more things other than diamonds. So back to my point about gender, all of this shit is arbitrary.
All of
It's
it.
all arbitrary. And where
Literally all
you
of it,
make
yeah.
your own sense of it, because it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, what were you talking about? What was the original point?
No, my original question was like, what are some things that you do as an individual
Yeah.
outside of Plato's cave
Yeah.
that makes all the niggas, the men inside Plato's cave resent
it's not
you?
Like, a lot of people that I used to be friends with want me to be proud of them for their financial success, but because their financial success
is predicated on exploitation.
That, and it also didn't come with the liberation of their spirit. Right. If I'm your friend, I want the best for you.
Yes.
You making $1 million and being someone else's little bitch boy does not make me proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of
You've
like
just gone
your
from
spirit.
one jail cell to the other.
Right, I'm not proud, like, and people want me to be proud of them, and I'm not, because all they have is money.
Yeah.
You have no time. You have no freedom of expression.
Yeah.
You're not working on anything you're passionate about.
You've abandoned all your relationships.
Right, you just have a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So to me, the thing that causes the most conflict is that, like, I don't care about money. I'm not impressed by people's money, and I'm not proud of people for becoming rich. A lot of people want me to be proud. They want me to, like, tell them that I'm proud of you because they went on to become successful. And they probably think that I don't say that because I'm resentful.
Yeah.
When I'm actually just disappointed. Like, I've had every opportunity to become rich in that way, in that very controlled way.
Yeah.
Or you make 6 figures, or you make 7 figures, but you're under somebody else's thumb.
Yeah.
You can't really deviate. And I realize how deeply unfulfilling that is. So when I see other people go down that road, I just, like, I don't know, cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm just unimpressed.
Yeah.
I feel like people get mad at my lack of being impressed by, like, capitalistic accomplishment.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What about that movie you said you wanted to make 2 years ago? Where's that at? You're doing a bunch of commercials. Like, you're doing a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm proud of people when I see them living up to their full potential.
Yes.
Which has nothing to do with money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money has to do with your ability to play the game.
Yeah.
All of my friends can play the game because I have smart friends. So, like, when I see my friends playing the game well, it doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
What impresses me is, like, when you show me something that's, like, a pure expression of you, or you're doing some work that's
and
really,
you're genuinely proud of it. Yeah.
I have friends that went to Harvard Law School that now just do pro bono work for free and live in a shitty little apartment in San Francisco, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
You had every opportunity in the world. You could have worked at BlackRock.
Yeah.
You could have worked at Lehman Brothers.
Yeah.
But you wanted to do this thing.
Yeah.
And you did this thing.
And you made some sacrifices.
You sacrificed.
Yeah.
You're proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So to me, the thing that causes the most conflict in, like, trying to be myself is not having the same definition of fulfillment and success that everyone else has.
Yeah.
Because I've fully opted out of money, and
Yeah.
I'm fully unimpressed by people's bank accounts.
Yeah.
I still know that I need money to survive. I'm not an idiot. But as far as, like, what I'm really in awe of, it's not rich people.
I would honestly say the same thing, even for me as a woman. Although for me, I would frame it as, I think people who resent me because I'm not living in bad faith with them.
Right.
So, like, I take bad faith very seriously. Like, I really am someone that if I decide I'm done with something, I really am done. Like, generally speaking. And I think that, like, I don't know, I'm just not someone that believes that you can avoid suffering, so I'm not as scared of it as, like, most people.
Yeah.
And that makes me more willing to change my life when I need to. Like, or, like, to make changes in my life when I need to.
Yeah.
Because I don't really get the point of living in bad faith. Like,
yeah.
I know, I had a friend a while back who's in a really unfulfilling relationship. And I always just kept telling her, like, when you're ready to leave, you'll leave. But, like, I'm not going to tell you to leave. You know, you can never tell someone to leave their relationship. But, like, you know. Yeah. But it's also, like, I know that when someone is ready to leave, they'll leave. Yeah. And I would always tell them that. And, like, it came to a point where I broke up with my ex for, like, much less severe reasons than, like, why she wanted to leave her relationship. And she really resented me for that. And I really
you know what's
fully
crazy?
understand.
It's that we always get deemed pessimistic. And when we're the most hopeful piece, because we're attempting to live in good faith.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with this friend the other day about, like, we were talking about the music industry. And I was saying the reason why I opted out and left the continent, moved to South Africa, and I'm trying to get some shit cracking here, is I think the entire industry is predicated on dick riding.
Yes.
Like, people get from point A to point B by riding someone else's dick.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that's a bad form of transportation.
Yes.
Like,
you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I would like to get from point A to point B with my own legs.
Yeah, yeah.
And people think that's like a crazy idea.
Yeah.
And like people think that I've made some huge sacrifice by leaving. But to me, that's not a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because if I only got from point A to point B because I was in LA riding dick, pretending to like people I don't like, pretending to like music that I don't like, that's not fulfillment to me.
Yeah.
Fulfillment to me is being able to say that, like, either with my own 2 feet or with the help of friends and loved ones that I respect and think are creative as well,
yeah.
I, and with the people around me, was able to get from point A to point B without swinging on someone else's nuts.
Yes, yeah.
And that's another weird thing, like all these manly men in the West, where it's like, your whole economic system is based on dick riding.
Yeah.
And like, it's an unsustainable form of transportation because you didn't get there.
Yeah.
We know that humans are unreliable and trash.
Yeah.
And you're telling me your whole success and career is based on relying on there being a dick to swing on?
Yes.
Clearly people are unreliable. One day, the nuts aren't going to be there for you to swing on.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to go on your own 2 feet and walk from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to say that you know how to do that either by yourself or with the people you love in your life.
Yeah.
And like, people treat me like I'm insane.
Yeah.
Just because I don't believe in nut hugging. I don't believe that my success should be predicated on who I know.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that insane?
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently, like that, like people treat me like I'm
literally
insane.
No, I feel like I've been experiencing a similar thing. I think like when you're African and you move from America back to Africa, you are perceived that you have failed.
Yeah.
Like that is the highest level of failure as like a Black African.
Yeah.
To come back to your home.
Yeah.
And I have come back to my home. I've come back to the continent.
Yeah.
And my whole family is so disappointed in me.
Right.
They're just like, they cannot believe. And like every week they're like, so are you getting the green card?
Yeah.
Like you have a boyfriend. Like you guys, and I'm very adamant that like I'm not moving back to New York.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going back to the place that almost killed guys.
Yeah.
I almost died.
Yeah.
Literally.
But all Africans always talk about this opportunity, all this. The opportunity is to ride dick.
Like
the opportunity is literally the opportunity to ride. As far as the ability to make something of yourself, theoretically you could do that anywhere. And I get the point that they're making. There's a severe lack of opportunity.
Yeah, it's like this is literally a third world country.
Understand that the opportunity in LA is being fake and taking pictures with women you don't like.
Yeah.
So like that is the opportunity in question.
But I feel like even for me, it's just people's inability to like, I find it like very dehumanizing. Where it's like, I'm an individual, right?
Yeah.
With my own unique set of needs. Yeah. I need different things from you to be healthy.
Right.
My mental health is very fragile. My physical health is very fragile. I cannot live in a city that is nothing but air pollution, sound pollution, living with rats, no fresh food, no sunlight. Like literally the opposite of everything that I need.
Yeah.
Just so I can flex on people I don't even like or respect.
Right.
It's like the idea that like, and it's what I mean about like, people talk so much about freedom and yet they don't even have the freedom to imagine a life outside of their prison. Yeah. And like now that I've opened up my prison and have decided to live a healthier life for me, they're discussed like I'm the failure. Yeah. Like I'm the one.
It's also it's something that really bothers me about men. Like how much men judge women for doing sex work, but don't address the fact that their whole existence is just like economic dick riding.
Yes.
So it's like you'll just this porn star made this great point the other day where she's like, women on OnlyFans have way more dignity than men in the army because you're selling your body to the state.
Yes.
I'm at least selling my body to myself.
To a nigga.
So it's like you'll judge a woman for doing OnlyFans and then your entire finance bro career is predicated on sucking up to the head of the firm.
It doesn't make any sense.
And it's like everyone is riding dick. Why is it only that women get shit on for literally riding dick?
No, it
when
makes
all
no
men
sense
do
at
is
all.
figuratively ride dick.
It makes
I don't know.
But there we have it.
Yeah.
Gender. I feel like we only scratched the surface. So
Yeah.
I think our next episode is about Black womanhood.
Yeah.
And then like how that intersects
Yeah.
with, and just womanhood as a whole, honestly.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts or questions about gender, please write them in the comment section below, because we need to get into this. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Bye. Say bye, Mango.
Oh, she's sleepy.
Oh, you sleepy.
She's so dirty again. Oh my god. You mind holding her?
Mango. Yeah. Mango, we just gave you a bath today.